For decades, we've caught them, battled them, and traded them. We look at Pokémon as clever designs, cool monsters made for a video game. But what if I told you that some of your favorite creatures aren't modern inventions at all? What if they are echoes of human history's oldest stories? Game Freak didn't just pull these designs out of thin air. They tapped into the collective unconscious, the myths, gods, and monsters that humanity has feared and worshipped for thousands of years. Today we are digging into archaeology. From the sun gods of Egypt to the shadow spirits of Europe, we uncover the divine origins of the most iconic Pokémon in history. To find our first god, we have to travel back 3,000 years to the scorching sands of ancient Egypt. We're looking for a warrior who commands the sun itself. We're looking for Blaziken. Owen's favorite fire starter is often called a fighting chicken, but its design philosophy is actually a tribute to the two most powerful deities in the Egyptian pantheon, Ra and Horus. Ra was the god of the sun, Horus was the god of the sky and kingship. Both were depicted as falcon-headed warriors. Look at that silhouette. The V-shaped crest on Blaziken's head isn't just hair. It mirrors the divine headdresses of the pharaohs, symbolizing a connection to the heavens. But the connection goes deeper than looks. In myth, Ra wasn't just a symbol, he was an eternal soldier. Every night he journeyed through the underworld to battle the serpent of chaos, Apophis, just so the sun could rise again. Blaziken embodies this. It is a bird warrior of the sun. Game Freak modernized this by giving Blaziken the fighting style of Muay Thai. When Blaziken uses Flare Blitz, it isn't just attacking, it is becoming a literal projectile of the sun to drive back the darkness, just like Ra 3,000 years ago. We leave the scorching sun of Egypt behind and travel east. Our next entry isn't just a fan favorite from the Kanto region. It's a creature that ancient cultures believed stood at the very gate between our world and the spirit realm. This is Arcanine. For decades, fans have asked the same question. Why is Arcanine classified as the legendary Pokémon when it isn't actually a legendary? The answer isn't in the game code, it's in the stone statues of East Asia. Meet the Komainu. If you've ever walked through a temple in Japan or China, you've seen these massive lion dogs guarding the gates. They are divine protectors, charged with warding off evil spirits and keeping sacred ground pure. Notice the design. Arcanine isn't just a big dog. It has the flowing, majestic mane of a lion and the loyal, fierce build of a canine. In mythology, one Komainu has its mouth open to scare away demons, while the other has its mouth closed to keep in the good spirits. In the ancient Pokémon world, Arcanine wasn't legendary because it was a god. It was legendary because seeing one meant you were under divine protection. It is the bridge between humans and the divine. The ultimate guardian, from the temple gates to the open sky. Rapidash is a unique case in the Pokémon world because its two regional forms represent two completely different pillars of Western mythology, the Sun Chariot and the Unicorn. The Kanto Rapidash we grew up with is pure speed and fire. This is a direct nod to the Steeds of Helios. In Greek myth, Helios was the titan of the sun, and every single morning he drove a chariot pulled by 4 immortal fiery horses to bring light to the world. That constant flowing flame on Rapidash's back isn't just for show. It represents that untamable celestial fire needed to move the sun itself. It's an engine of light. But as we cross the ocean to Galar, the fire goes out, and something far more ancient and mysterious takes its place. While the Kanto form is a tribute to the Greek sun, Galarian Rapidash is a direct nod to the history of the United Kingdom. It is the unicorn. The unicorn is the national animal of Scotland, representing untamable grace and purity. In medieval lore, a unicorn wasn't just a pretty horse. Its horn, or the alicorn, was a divine tool that could neutralize any poison and heal the sick. Notice how Galarian Rapidash's signature ability, Pastel Veil, prevents it and its allies from being poisoned. Game Freak didn't just add a horn for style. They integrated a 500-year-old healing myth directly into the game's mechanics. But not all divine authority comes from the sky or the forest. Some comes from the crushing pressure of the deep. To find our next god, we look to the Emperor of the Sinnoh region. Empoleon's name is clearly a mix of emperor and Napoleon Bonaparte. But while its personality is based on the French emperor, its divine power belongs to the Greek god of the sea, Poseidon. Look at Empoleon's face. That yellow, three-pointed crest that starts at its beak and reaches over its eyes isn't just a crown, it is a literal trident. In mythology, the trident was a weapon of absolute sovereignty. It could shatter rocks, trigger earthquakes, and command the tides. Empoleon's unique water and steel typing represents this perfectly. It doesn't just swim in the water, it rules it with an iron or steel fist. Its wings are described as being sharp enough to cleave through icebergs. This is a Pokémon that commands the same terrifying respect as the god of the sea. It doesn't ask for permission, it takes its throne. So far, we've seen gods of the sun, guardians of the temple, and kings of the sea. But mythology isn't always bright and noble. Sometimes the most terrifying myths are the ones that are standing right behind you, in your own shadow. Gengar is arguably the most famous ghost type in existence. But its origin isn't just a ghost. It is based on a terrifying concept from German folklore, the Doppelgänger. You've probably heard the theory. Gengar is the shadow of a Clefable. They have the same ears, the same body shape, and the same feet. But the mythology goes much deeper. A doppelganger isn't just a twin, it's a double-goer, a paranormal duplicate of a living being. In ancient lore, seeing your own doppelganger was the ultimate bad omen. It was believed to be a fetch, an apparition sent to collect your soul. It was a sign that death was coming. The Pokédex says Gengar hides in the shadows of people, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. It doesn't just scare you, it mimics you. It is the shadow self, the part of you that you try to hide, coming to life to replace you. Why does this matter? Because it proves that Pokémon isn't just for kids. It's a modern encyclopedia of human history. When you look at your team, you aren't just looking at digital data. You're looking at an Egyptian sun warrior, a Japanese temple guardian, a Greek king, and a German omen of death. These myths survived for thousands of years because they tap into things we either worship or fear. By putting them in the games, Game Freak has made sure these legends will never be forgotten. Mythology is everywhere in the Pokémon world, from the legendary gods of creation to the ghosts in our shadows. But there are hundreds of other Pokémon I didn't have time to cover. Which one should I deep dive into next? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this journey through history, hit that subscribe button. It helps me make more of these deep dives for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next legend. Class is dismissed.